How's it going, folks? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tack Bets, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. Today we're checking out Popular Mechanics, April 1987. What we do is we have a look back and see what technology was like and also see what society was like. Well, that's interesting, how Soviets are tapping our phones and we can't do anything about it. Man, I had military friends that worked up an alert, a basin alert, where they listened to military, or not military, but communications for the Russians. But that was going over the air. You see, alerts closer to Moscow than it is Toronto. A riding lawnmower could be car of the year. I'll tell you what, Bobby, Hank Hill would probably agree with that. Couldn't see him taking one of those to work. There was a mentally interesting person who lived around the village when I was young, and she'd always drive by in this lawnmower that didn't have the blade on it. It was loud, it'd be remarkable, but she was just happy to get out for a ride. Camel filters, not for guys who like to arm wrestle, but for the third wheel who likes to watch on the fun. I am so absolutely not used to Dodge having that particular symbol. And every time I see that symbol, I think of Chrysler. Good company, a man and his gun and his Copenhagen. Legit, does anyone use chaw still? It's been a long time since I've seen anyone with that. They must still do it in the major leagues. Win a magic trip to the Hilton and to Walt Disney World. Yes, sir. Bob Vila, we're all really happy to see Bob. Oh, this must have been the advent of the pool water test kit. You could just drop that thing in and it gives you different measurements. I guess you didn't have to do the 3-drop method then. Getting parts for a foreign car shouldn't be a big adventure. Napa Auto Parts. So around where I live, we have something like a Napa in every town, and shit's expensive, but they can generally get it for you, which is awesome. Does that look like my set of brake pads? I think I'll... The Pontiac Firebird formula. We build excitement. Huh. There was someone locally that was using that term. We build excitement. I think they were an electronics company. Well, so many cigarette ads. So when I went to the States from Canada, I noticed that there was advertisements all over the place and very cartoonish looking ones. They definitely seemed like they were trying to get the young hip crowd into it. 5 years ago, this was a new water heater. Reliance. Oh, yuck. I am not a big fan of Reliance. I know a lot of people say that it's good stuff, but if you've actually run into problems, oh man, I could tell you some big stories. Reliance is one of the reasons why I had to divorce my wife. Anyways, oh, that's a nice advertisement. Let me tell you something about Reliance. Reliance is an Indian company. A long time ago, like 60 years ago, Reliance was one conglomerate, and then Dad died, leaving it to 2 individuals. Now, it was more than oil and gas at that point. It was definitely communications and oil and gas. Look at that guy. That guy's fallen in love. Like, the other guys are just here for class. That guy's fallen in love with the teacher. Maybe it's his mom. Maybe it's his girlfriend. Anyways, it was agreed between 2 sons that Reliance would be broken up. One son decided to go with communications, and the other son decided to go with the Reliance that we know, basically. Remember, this is all in India. So the gas and furnace business goes pretty steady. Buddy keeps making money, and the communications guy's doing all of this, like, level 99 intelligence and what do they call it? 5D chess to destroy to destroy everyone else. And instead of using GSM, they went with whatever was before GSM, and free talking, really cheap data, and most other places just kind of closed down. Oh, I love these back page blacklisting things. Anyways, so the son that went all with communications ended up going bankrupt, and it wasn't until Ericsson started to sue them for non-payment. Suing for non-payment, completely unheard of in India. Anyways, the Indian government was about to send Buddy to the police, the CEO, the brother. And then the other brother completely bailed him out because they didn't want their last name or Reliance to be held in shame ultimately. And now we all know Reliance, the oil and gas company and furnace, but we don't know about the communications. Oh my God, is that the fridge? So I don't really know a whole lot about foosball, but I do know the fridge was in G.I. Joe, and I'm pretty sure 72 was on the front. It is the fridge! Yeah, go Joe! He was a G.I. Joe. So it was between him and Sergeant Slaughter were the only two real people that made it into G.I. Joe. Could you imagine? Man, I would be so pumped if my grandpa or my dad or someone was actually a G.I. Joe. Like, on top of that, a wrestler. Okay, whatever. I'm kidding. But seriously, could you imagine if you had a G.I. Joe of someone in your family? Geez, that's an interesting advertisement. So once you find out how the old advertisements used to work, especially with food, is a lot of the food wasn't even really food. It was plastic things. You put a bit of water on it, you get plastic, you put a bit of water on it. I remember I saw someone doing an advertisement for cereal using vanilla ice cream that they cooled down basically to make it look really nice and, oh, nice and creamy. But check that out. We got an aspect of surrealism here. That's interesting. Players Light. I've never had the fortune to be in the boating business, but man, that would be nice to take your family, or at least a really nice gal, out on the water, out into the place in the middle of nowhere where nobody was. Everywhere I am, though, you get out to the water and you're pretty well surrounded by lots of people. And they're not even people you know. They're people from Toronto. America the Beautiful. I gotta say, I love American cars. They just look so nice. They're so powerful. They might not be the most, like Hondas will generally stand up forever. But I don't think I've ever known an American car you had to worry if it could get up a hill or not. I'm pretty sure the Asian cars, there was a time and a place in the 70s where you weren't sure if you were going to get it all the way up that hill if you were in Seattle. America's deadly submarine packed with the power for war. Man, once I finally seen some pictures and got my head around what a nuclear sub looked like, I thought it was just a standard sub. Oh, I love these images. I thought it was just a standard size sub that just happened to be carrying nukes on it. But no, the things are like mini cities, it looks like, compared to your average sub. Missile control, command navigation. So if all of those were computers, they'd probably just fit into a Raspberry Pi these days. Missile tubes, nuclear reactors just hanging out in the back. And the engineering room on the other side, really? The engineering room is the nuclear reactor. No, that couldn't be it. Well, wait, I guess it is. That's not retrofuturism. They're showing you a picture of what it actually looks like. Or are they? Knives used to be a big thing, my guys. I've never seen one like that. That's an interesting one. Oh, wow, this is some real fear tactics, some real McCarthyism. Well, I guess not McCarthyism, but they're trying to say how over half of all calls could be collected by the Russians, by the Reds. I wouldn't believe that for a second. I could understand a handful at any given time, but I mean, if legitimately half of your stuff was going out, I don't think that they would tell, I don't think the American government would tell a magazine about that. Let's move from fear right over to the one-man band. Hey, y'all, prepare yourself for the rubber band. Check this guy out, 100%. I wonder if those are like hit sticks. Hit sticks were basically sticks, you know, had an amplifier, a speaker, and it would kind of sound like you were a drummer, except I'm pretty sure there was only one noise they made. Oh, check that out. No, that was actually a drum pad. Jeez, you would have to be really close for that to work. I mean, there's little margin for error there, right? Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely electronic drums. I don't see anyone using those anymore. The Corsica? That's the first time I've heard of that one. Light my lucky. No thank you. My girlfriend might not like that very much. And there we have it. Popular Mechanics, April 1987. Ladies and gentlemen, drop a like and sub if you like this stuff. It's always appreciated. But more importantly, folks, take care of each other, will you?